is a chilly but sunny day here, and I hope you are having a good day, a good evening, or a good morning wherever you may be. Welcome to my genealogy experiment. My name is Michelle Anderson. As always, you're probably going to hear my dogs. Hopefully they will settle down and not be much of a nuisance, but they're kind of sitting like right by me, so I don't know. This week, we're going to talk about some of the challenges I faced during the week. The huge rabbit hole I went down yesterday when looking for ancestors. And I have some more free websites for you to use when making your family trees and the photos from my blogs. So let's get going. This week at work, we are getting ready for what we call Secret Cupid. We draw names and then you make something for one of your fellow staff. They give you a list of things that they like, such as their favorite colors, maybe their favorite quotes, or their favorite Bible verse, favorite foods. And then it's up to you to make them something truly amazing. Well, I think I bit off a bit more than I can accomplish. I am making my person a knitted blanket. And while I didn't make it in the traditional knitting way, I used a knitting machine, but I did myself make the panels, and now I have to complete the ends and sew them together. And I have 3 days to do it in. So that means I better hurry up and talk fast so we can get through this so I can finish my Secret Cupid present. First up, I'm going to talk about the free websites that I have for you. The first one is the World Gen Web Project. This is a nonprofit, volunteer-based organization dedicated to providing genealogical and historical records and resources. You can find them on Facebook, the site formerly known as Twitter, and their website, worldgenweb.org. They also have a newsletter that you can receive full of how-tos and just regular genealogy information. Keeping free genealogy on the internet is the motto of the U.S. Gen Web Project, and they've been doing it for over 25 years. It has been created and maintained by a community of volunteers. They have county and state records, along with photos, maps, transcripts, historical documents, helpful links, and much, much more. You can find this site at usgenweb.com. The last site that I had, my privacy protection program did not like so much. So I don't have much that I can tell you about them other than what Google has shared with me. They offer free family tree and ancestry lookups through record searches, archived materials, and they even offer prison records. You can find this free website at www.genealogytoday.com. I still have some sites left to share with you next week. So yesterday, I was looking for some people on my Anderson tree. I had been playing around with reports in my family tree software. One of the reports was that titled of place. So I made a report just to see all the places that it would say that the family were. Alabama was on the report. And if you know me, you know I'm a northern girl. So I was like, Alabama? Who's that? Who's the one that's in Alabama? So then I thought I'd see if I could find them. The first thing I discovered was that there were 2 Civil War veterans in this lineage line. Both of them part of the Confederate troops. I had known about one of the gentlemen. He had served as a blacksmith in the Texas Cavalry. But I had no idea about the other gentleman who came from Alabama and was part of their infantry unit. Both gentlemen had been captured during the war. Both released and survived the experience of the war. When I found his record and it said that he'd been an infantryman, I found myself thinking a lot about what combat had been like for him. So then I decided to see if I could find his parents. And well, then I kept going and finding their parents and their parents. And I kept going back and back and back some more and some more. And if all the leads on this tree turn out to be accurate, I will be able to go back to England in 1388. Yep, you hear me. You heard me. 1388. Now, I really want to stress the importance of making sure that this is accurate information. So before I'm adding all this information to my family tree, I am going to check it out and make sure that, yes, indeed, these are the people, this is the person that our family records show. Because family had said that this line was from Germany, but that's not what the records show. And I have census records too. But if all the leads come back as being accurate, this will have been through one person who early family genealogists said that not much was known of them or their family line. So keep looking for the people, as you never know what you're going to find or when. Each year it seems that more and more digital information is available. And I had looked several years ago and none of this information was there, or I didn't search correctly, which is probably more accurate. So I better tell you about this week's pages so I can get back to my knitting. On the Jordans and Birds page, I have a really cute photo of our Frank and his brother Leo. You've seen this photo before, but in honor of the Super Bowl being played today, I got to thinking about what it might have been like when football was new. Now, a gentleman by the name of Walter Camp is credited with altering the rules of rugby and coming up with what today we call football. I've never attended a rugby match or learned the rules of play for that sport, but I can see the similarities between the two of them. The sport of American football itself was relatively new when Frank and Leo were born to Peter and Emma Borscheit. I constantly have to tell myself to slow down so that I don't rush through names and places and even the script that I've written. But Frank and Leo were born to Peter and Emma Borscheit. And around the time that they were born, football had seen the first intercollegiate football game played just 20 years previously. Princeton played Rutgers. And by the 1880s, most athletic clubs had a football team. Competition was pretty fierce, and each team wanted to win. In 1892, right before Frank was born, the first players were openly played to pay in games, making professional football. The photo that I have is of Frank and Leo, and I'm assuming it looks like they were in elementary school. Frank was born November 25th, 1891, and Leo on January 14, 1894. So I found myself wondering if they played football. Maybe they played football with their friends, or maybe they played it at school. Now, of the charter teams from the 1920s, when the American Professional Football League was made, there were only 2 left. Do you know what 2 teams those are? Well, the first one is the Arizona Cardinals, which when founded had been called the Chicago Cardinals. And then they were the St. Louis Cardinals before moving to Arizona. They, along with the Chicago Bears, which when the team was founded, were called the Decatur Stanleys. So, the Chicago Bears and the Arizona Cardinals are the 2 charter members still in existence. Now, the Green Bay Packers were founded in 1919, but they did not begin play until 1921. But the Packers hold the record for having not moved or changed their name. While I can't imagine our Frank playing football, I know it would have been an amazing thing to be there as these teams and the sport began. And while football has changed over the 104 years it's been around, it sure can be fun to watch. Over in the Miller Garden, I bring to you a beautiful photo of May and Lloyd Motter. Now, I never really gave any thought to May and Lloyd. I'm usually focused on other Millers that I'm searching for. May is the oldest of Kermit's siblings. She was born January 5th, 1894 in Adeline, Illinois, to Isaac and Lydia Miller. On April 18th, 1918, at the age of 24, Lydia married Lloyd Motter. He was age 24 in Mount Carroll, Illinois. I am not sure why they chose to travel to Mount Carroll to be married, but I sure would like to know. In looking on Ancestry last night, I found a copy of their wedding announcement. I like the part where it says that May had taught the Leaf River schools, and that's how she met Lloyd, and they became friends. I wonder how long May taught schools for, as the census beginning in 1920 stated that she was at home. Now, Leaf River is where Lloyd and his family were living. Their photo is just beautiful to me. It seems like it could have been taken around the time of their marriage. Their clothing and the hairstyles all fit that time frame of 1918. You can really tell that May had blue eyes, and they are just so pretty to me. I love her dress, and I really would have liked to have known what color it was. It seems to be like a dark color. Maybe not a black, but a navy or green, maybe? With the sheer sleeves and the silk cuff that goes up the majority of her forearm, it's just stunning. The buttons on the cuff and how close they are and all in a row are exquisite. And then she put on a pearl necklace and pearl earrings, and it just completes her simple, beautiful ensemble. Once again, Lloyd shows how men tend to have it easy. All they need to do is get the suit and the tie and wash up and put it on, and they're good to go. He looks really handsome, and while he looks happy, May seems to me to be a bit melancholy, as her smile is just absent. One reason why could have been the war. On October 4th, 1918, Lloyd, as part of the machine gun company of the 150th Infantry, NG 38th Division, set sail for France. The 38th was out of Indianapolis and had been training since 1917. The soldiers of the 38th were comprised of mainly individuals from Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia. I am not sure if he saw combat, as the records that I found did not state that, but I do know that many in this division did. Since he was part of the machine gun unit, I would bet that he did, as the Meuse-Argonne offensive was in process when he arrived in France, and it continued until armistice was reached. Now, armistice happened on November 11th, 1918, and the war ended. Lloyd and May had 2 children, June, born August 25th, 1920, and Lois, born July 21st, 1927. Lloyd worked in the laundry industry throughout his life and had a very successful career. May maintained their home and raised their children, and she also established our ancestor connections within the Daughters of the American Revolution. They had 57 years of marriage until May died on December 17th, 1975, in Rockford, Illinois. Lloyd lived almost 2 months without May until his own death on February 18th, 1976. Over on the 6 Degrees of Anderson page, I have Dick and Nancy demonstrating one of the funnest, there I go again, talking too fast. But it's one of the funnest things to do and learn how to cook or bake. New things are fun when you're a kid, and, well, we all need to start somewhere. It looks as if Nancy and Dick are having fun learning how to do that. Nancy has that bowl held tight, and just in case, so does Dick. Like all good brothers, he's there to help her and ensure their bakery item gets made to the best of their ability. I just love Nancy's hair. It's just a cute little page haircut, and she's such a cutie. And Dick with his Levi's and long sleeve shirt, which would look normal today as it did then. Attaching his keys to his belt loop is such an Anderson thing. It must be a genetic thing, as his sons, grandsons, and great-grandson wear their keys this way. I like the wallpaper pattern in the kitchen, and I find myself wondering, whose kitchen is it? Were they having fun at home or with Audie and Hazel? No matter whose kitchen this might be, I am glad we have this cooking gem to cherish and enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed listening as much as I have enjoyed talking to you. Please make sure that you're subscribed however you get this podcast, be it through my website, on Facebook, or through YouTube. Feel free to share this with anyone you know that might enjoy today's topics. Join me each week as I discuss genealogy tidbits, things I've learned, and the photos I've posted on my family pages. My name is Michelle Anderson. Thank you for listening. I am a link to the past and a bridge to the future. Have a great day.